Our purpose here is to learn a little bit of Photoshop basics. What we're going to do is we're going to take a normal looking house, adjust the curves to give it some bizarre color, and then we're going to use Photoshop to make some lighting. So here we go. First thing we're going to do is I'm going to right click on a normal looking house. I'm going to say open with Photoshop. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the image size. I want to size this up a little bit larger to make it print ready. So I'm going to go up to 150 pixels per inch. We are resampling that up. You can see that now the new pixel dimensions say 3.42 megabytes, where it was under 1 megabyte. It was 807K. Alright, so now what we want to do is make this a little bit larger for our printer. Just somewhere around 10 inches wide, or if you're working vertical, around 10 inches tall, so it'll fit on an 8.5 by 11 inch piece of paper. So there we go. So now it's all sized up. First thing I'm going to do is unlock the background so that way we can edit this picture. I'm going to go into curves, so I'm going to go image adjustment, and we're going to go into curves. Alright, Command N is the shortcut. The way curves work is if you use a smooth curve, it looks kind of like a Bezier curve there, if you can see there. We could adjust the mid-tone, give it a little bit more guts, or if you have an underexposed image, you can always pull that up. The way the curves work is that down here are the dark tones. So if we pull the dark tones up, you can see it gets lighter. Here's the light tones are on the right end of the histogram. If I pull that down, you can see that the light areas appear darker. Well, one fun thing we can do is here I can use the pencil tool. So I can make some of the lighter things very dark, and some of the dark, reverse that. Some of the dark things light, some of the light things dark. And you can see what it's doing to the image. It's really distorting it. We can smooth it out a little bit. Maybe that's a little too much, so let's just kind of do something like that. Oh, that's looking pretty nice and creepy. I'm going to bring some of those dark areas, make sure that they're still dark. Take some of these light areas and make them even darker, just to have it look just a bit menacing. If you click your eyedropper in an area, it'll show you where it is on the curve. So that was right in this area, right around 108. So if I wanted to do this to the sky, see how I'm adjusting the sky? And I'm going to smooth that out. Alright, that looked pretty good. Next step is to create a new layer. On this layer I'm going to create some lightning. Before we do lightning, what we have to do is to set my colors to default. If you click in this little box down here, so default is foreground is black, background is white. What we're going to do is we're going to make a black to white gradient on this new layer. So I'm going to click my gradient tool. Probably remember gradients from Adobe Illustrator that we just did. So now I'm going to click from the upper left hand corner to the bottom right. I'm making a diagonal gradient. Now I'm going to go into filter, and this is really interesting. I'm going to go to render difference clouds. This will actually render some clouds that look pretty cool, right? It's just a bunch of clouds. I'm going to invert that image. So image adjust invert, or Command I. It's pretty easy to remember, shortcut. Now I'm going to go into levels, so image adjustments again. We're going to go into levels. Command L is a shortcut for that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to slide the black arrow, which is our shadow area, to the right. You can see what happens here. I'm cleaning up, I'm getting rid of anything that's gray, so all that's left is just black and white. So see how it's starting to look like lightning there. I'm going to say OK. I'm going to add a little bit of color, so I'm going to go back to image adjustments, and this time I'm going to go to hue saturation. Command U for hue because it rhymes with hue. And I'm going to click colorize. We're going to make it like a nice, how about purple? Purple's a nice color for lightning. Alright, so now you really can't see the image behind it until we go to our layers, and I'm going to put in blending mode. I'm going to call this screen. So now you can see that on top of my image. I'm going to change this back to normal. I'm going to edit this down a little bit. I'm just going to erase. I want to be on this layer, and actually I think I'm going to paint with a larger brush, and I'm going to paint black, and I'm going to paint out some of those areas that I don't want so much. Kind of painted too much there. Got a funny mouse here. Just a little bit too much lightning going on there. If you play around with your diagonals, you can probably get this, a little bit more lightning looking. But that looks pretty good. I'm going to go back to my layers, and I'm going to put a screen blending mode on here. And now it's got some lightning happening in there. I could even go back in here, adjust my levels a little bit more, maybe darken it down by pulling that slider. There, that's looking really nice and scary. And there you have it. The next thing I would do is I would flatten it and print it out to the color printer. So thank you very much.